Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. In our journey through history, let's dive into a man who is beloved by many in the West as a legendary figure of gift-giving, merriment, and goodwill. Santa Claus, or Saint Nicholas as he's known, is one of the most well-known and in some cases controversial characters of the Christmas season. Many, myself included, can recall the day as children when we found out that the jolly old elf who gives gifts to good little boys and girls on Christmas Eve is merely a fairy tale. Or was he? While we can all agree that there is no world-traveling gift giver who magically bestows Christmas presents all in one night, there was a real Saint Nicholas, and he was a titanic figure of the Christian faith. Let's discover the Christian hero and servant of Jesus behind the legend of Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas of Myra. Nicholas was born in the late 3rd century in modern-day Turkey. Little is known of Nicholas's life as a boy, but historical sources confirm that he was orphaned at a young age and also became a committed Christian at that time. Tradition tells us that Nicholas likely faced severe persecution under the reign of the wicked Roman Emperor Diocletian and was possibly even imprisoned. He was able to find protection, however, when the Christian Emperor Constantine I took the throne. Nicholas is remembered as a kind and generous servant of Christ. He served as the Bishop of Myra later in his life, but the most famous story of St. Nicholas may or may not be true, but it is certainly true in that it accurately describes this kind saint's character. Nicholas allegedly gave a generous monetary gift to a family of 3 young women as a dowry payment to rescue them from a life of poverty and prostitution. Some traditions say that in order for Nicholas to avoid persecution from the Romans, he needed to sneak into the family's home late at night and hide the gift within the clothes drying by the fire, possibly leading to the tradition of Santa placing gifts in stockings on Christmas Eve. It is clear to see how the legend of Santa Claus grew from the person of St. Nicholas. Even the name Santa Claus is in some ways an iteration of the word Sinterklaas, which is the Dutch translation of the name St. Nicholas. Well, Nicholas died in the mid-4th century on December 6th, which as you can see gives him a calendar connection to the Christmas holiday. He is remembered as a man who loved Christ and loved his people. So when your children ask you, is Santa real? Perhaps you can tell them this: he was, and he was a man who we can model our lives after, who gave generously and loved the people around him as he had first been loved by Jesus Christ. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.